After the design is finished printing and cutting, then I'm going to go ahead and do the sheet cut function. It's just a button on the machine that programs it to do a sheet cut. You can actually program this function in the software, that way every time it's done printing a job it automatically sheet cuts it. And you just remove the piece. Now I'm sure you're asking the question, how about all this wasted space? I could have programmed the machine to start printing on the other side of these test cuts and utilize this space, so you are able to do that. I just did not on this job. I'm going to go ahead and cut this down to a more manageable size here for the weeding process. And grab my weeding tool. Always makes sense to have a couple weeders in your shop because they always seem to get misplaced or lost. What I'm doing now is same thing you saw in the beginning of the video where I showed you the different layers. I'm going to grab that layer, the top layer, and begin to remove it. So you can see it's just peels away. So all that's left is my design on there. And then there's actually interior components here that have been cut out, so I'm going to go and grab the inside piece. And there's another one here. And you just weed away all the excess, so all that's left is your design. Make sure I didn't miss anything. There we go. And then the next thing we need to do is mask this piece in order to pick it up off the backing and take it over to the heat press and apply. Now there are a couple different types of masking or transfer tape materials available, and I want to show you the two different ones and kind of explain the differences. And as we go through all these different videos on the different digital medias that we have, the CAD-COLOR medias, we'll be able to show you exactly which mask, how they react to the different materials and which we recommend. Two different types of mask. We have the color print mask, also known as Ttd Mask, and then we have the Solutions Mask. Easy way to tell, the Solutions Mask has a yellow backing and the other one does not. For this particular job, I'll go ahead and use the Solutions Mask to show you how that works. I'm just going to cut it down to size. And then this is two layers, so I'm going to remove the yellow backing to expose the layer that we use. So you can see the yellow backing is just a paper that we don't really need. We'll actually hang on to it for later now in case you're storing the design. So this side's sticky and this side's not. We're going to take it down and lay it over the design. And then we're going to take a squeegee. You also need a squeegee in this process and go from the center out and just press out all the air bubbles. And that just gives you a good flush mask where it's flush against the material. That way the print's going to look really nice. After it's masked, I'm going to grab the edge and peel it back, and it's actually going to pick up my image away from the backing. And then I'm going to heat apply it down. At this point, if I was doing a whole bunch of these, I can save the backing from the mask and just lay it down, and that way I can store them without the backing being sticky and picking up dust and different particles that might be around. But for this case, we'll go ahead and just take this over and heat apply it down. And we'll do that in 1 second. In the meantime, I'm going to prepare a couple of more designs because we're going to heat apply to a couple of things. So we'll be right back. Now that I've masked a couple of the samples, we did the one on video with the Solutions mask, and I did a couple more with the TTD or color print mask. We're going to go ahead and do some heat applications onto some different fabrics and substrates to show you exactly how this material works on the heat application side. First material I'm going to use is a nylon material. Just lay it down on your heat press. Going to press it first, just tap it down to remove the moisture and wrinkles. Each particular material that you get should come with an instruction sheet that tells you the exact time, temperature, and pressure to set on the heat press to apply it. Also on the materials it will recommend a cutting force and everything for the VersaCAMM. So I know this material applies down at 305 degrees. it applies down for 2 separate hits of 5 seconds. And it applies down at a light pressure. So I'm going to set my pressure back to a light pressure. This particular machine has a digital readout for the pressure, so it makes it very easy to monitor. When you lock it down, it reads out the actual pressure. It's the Phoenix Fire machine. So I'm going to grab the design that I've done with the Solutions mask, position that down on my garment. Also want to cover it with a cover sheet. I'm just using craft paper here. I'm going to go ahead and lock the heat press down for 5 seconds. And then peel the backing immediately. After that's done, I'm going to repeat the same process and hit it for an additional 5 seconds. And this just ensures permanent adhesion down to the garment. After this is applied, whether it's on a cotton material, polyester, or a nylon, you get a very soft feel on the garment. This will stretch and rebound with the apparel, and it just feels very soft on the garment. So let's go ahead and do the same application with the Ttd mask. And I have, before I do the bag, I'll have to adjust the pressure for that. I have a little can koozie. I'll just lay that down. And notice how this is going to affect my pressure. So you want to make sure you have accurate pressure with this process. When I lock this down, I'm all the way up on a 5 pressure. So I'm going to need to adjust that back. I just want to make sure I'm at that same 3 pressure, or the same light pressure that I was at before. Remove the backing in the same way. And this, I made my design a little big, but we'll just put it on an angle here so you can see it. Position that down. And lay a cover sheet. After it's applied, you just remove that backing hot. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the same process again. And that should ensure a permanent adhesion onto the can koozie. Once again, it's very soft. And that's the versatility of this material, how it feels on the garment, what it can apply to, and its durability. And one more application that I want to show you. One of the biggest selling points of this material is what it can go to, as we've been talking about. So here's a different bag. And with this bag, this is something that you can't just lay on the heat press and apply down, because it has different straps, different seams, and zippers. So there are print perfect pads available that allow you to build up the pressing area on the heat press. So I'm going to put this print perfect pad inside of the bag. Make sure the straps are out of the way. And I've just built up my pressing area here. And then once again, you're going to need to adjust the pressure, so that we have this over center pressure adjustment that we're just going to loosen up. That's raising this whole heat platen. So I'm on a 7 pressure now, so I'm still going to need to back off here. There's my 3. That's, I know where I'm operating at, is right at the 3. So you can see the importance of digital pressure on the heat press. Lay my design down. Cover sheet. 5 seconds. Peel the backing immediately. And hit it again for 5 seconds for permanent adhesion. And that's done. So you can see how you can decorate different fabrics. Of course, this will apply down to cotton, nylon, leather, spandex, polyester. You're not restricted at all by the fabric that you're using when you're using the CAD print process and the CAD-COLOR Solutions line of materials.